Welcome to Wednesday Wellness, where we be well, get well, and stay well. Join us as our guest speakers share their best tips, tricks, and resources. Welcome to Wednesday Wellness. I'm Eileen Whipple. I'm here in Arizona. I have been involved with this group of people for the last 7 years, and it's been the best 7 years of my journey because I've just watched my health and my relationships and my life just get better and better. And we put together this program of Wednesday Wellness to help people maximize their best life. And what we want to do is help you get good information, connect you with the people, connect you with products that might be advantageous for you, that have helped us along our journey, that you may find helpful for you. So tonight I'm very excited to introduce my good friend, Jessica. I actually met Jessica in 2010 at a therapy place because Jessica is a doctor of physical therapy. And I was actually participating in this therapy as a client, and she was coming in to get trained. And I'll let her expound on that. But then time passed and we reconnected, and now she is my physical therapist for water called Aqua Stretch. And so she's a mom. She is a loving person. Her love for life just exudes from her. And it's been such a blessing to have her as a friend and as a business partner and as a therapist in my life. And I truly, truly appreciate her. So I'm just going to turn the time over to you, Jessica, to share your message for us on Wednesday Wellness.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eileen. And I am super grateful to be here tonight and to share with you just a little bit about my personal experience through life and, some challenges maybe that I've been through that maybe some of you could probably relate to. And I'm just here to share my story and hopefully some things that helped me along the way that could help some of you. So I am a physical therapist. I've been practicing for 19 years. Eileen and I met and at the training session where I had already been a therapist, but was now being introduced to this technique that involves the whole body. As a physical therapist, we're only allowed to treat one body part. You get your diagnosis, you come in and see me on the land therapy place that I work, I'm only allowed to treat your knee or your shoulder or whatever it is. But would you agree that our body's all connected? So how does that even make sense, right? So we're taught as PTs to address the joint above and below the area that we're treating, but never the whole body. So I was extremely happy to learn something that was significantly efficient and effective for treating clients, and that could help them a lot more than the traditional therapy. So I went all in 2010, and I've been basically a mermaid ever since. So I am a fish out of water at this point. But I just want to ask you, because with Aqua Stretch, I work out people to get them unstuck. They come to me and they're stuck. They're in positions that they can't get out of sometimes. Maybe they have some pain. But my job is to help them to get unstuck so that they can move more freely and in better alignment. Have any of you ever felt stuck? Physically, emotionally, spiritually? Because it doesn't matter. I mean, you could be in a situation where it could be one significant event that creates a stress in your life that gets you kind of stuck. Or have you ever felt like significantly, oh, you know what? I need to share my screen before I go on. Okay, here we are. So I'm going to ask you, have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt so overwhelmed or anxious that you just wanted to crawl into a hole and not come out for a very, very long time? Maybe you've been through a divorce. Maybe you've experienced a death in the family or even a life in a family. Maybe you've been struggling with an illness or a diagnosis of some sorts. Maybe it's a stressful job or a lack of a job, or the pandemic. There's lots of things for us to be stressed about these days, for sure, right? So whether it's one significant thing or an accumulation of many different stresses, those stresses can lead to, can wreak havoc on our mind, not only on our mind, but our body and our spirit. In 2018, I found myself in that very, very dark place. I was that girl. The stress was thick. It was way overwhelming. I was reeling from a horrific, long, drawn-out divorce. Left me devastated. I was now in a new place, starting up my own business in a totally new environment. And I was traveling 7 hours twice a month just to provide for my kids. All the time, all on top of all of that, my health was failing. And for 7 years and 11 months, I could eat a total of 5 foods. 7 years and 11 months, 5 foods. Chicken, some vegetables, some potatoes, some nuts, and some bananas. That's it. And in fact, if I mixed it with each other, I'd be throwing up in the morning. This went on for 7 years and 11 months as I was going through a divorce. So, can you say hangry? I should put a hangry on here because that was me. I was hangry. And if anybody of you have experienced hanger, what happens? Do you guys know? You flip your lid. And for me, that was me. I would flip my lid on a daily basis and I'd snap at my 2 most beautiful favorite people in the whole wide world, my 2 girls. I would actually have meltdowns and I'd have to run upstairs to my room so that they wouldn't see me melting down or prevent me from saying something that I would have to go back and apologize for. So this was a big issue for me. And at the time I was going through my divorce, I asked my counselors opened my eyes to this guy named Dr. David Siegel. And you guys can look him up on YouTube, but he talks about how your brain reacts to stress and how it kind of tops off and you flip your lid. And what else he talks about how we have our brain is kind of like our hand, right? We have our front part of our brain. That's where we make our our good decisions, executive functioning decisions, is our prefrontal cortex. Everything else around is, kind of emotions and that kind of stuff. And so that's your outside brain. And then your lower part of your brain is the most primal part of your brain. And in that primal part of your brain is where fight or flight and where we have those reactions. And so when we have a lot of things going on out in our brain and we can't get to that front part of our brain to make an appropriate decision or a reaction, then we have a flip the lid reaction. So that's what flipping your brain is, or flipping your lid. Maybe some of you know, maybe you don't know. We have 2 nervous systems in our body. We have the sympathetic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is what's triggered when you're under a lot of stress. Okay, so that's the guy running away from something scary. That's what's going to kick in. And then, all your blood starts rushing to your edges of your fingers and your toes so you can start running fast, right? That's what happens. Your blood goes away from your body. And then when your autonomic system is on, or your parasympathetic nervous system, also called autonomic system, that's basically all the nervous system to our organs. It's the stuff we don't have to think about. It's the heart beating and the breath we're taking and the digestion that's happening. It's necessary for organ function. It's mostly active when we're sleeping. So what do you do? What do you do if you're submit to all of this stress and you're flipping your lid, right? And that was me back in 2018, because you can't control everything in your environment, you know that, but we can only control what is going on here. So how do we calm our brain? There's mindful breathing, of course. And so everybody just take a minute with me and take a nice deep breath. They say that when you take breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then release it for 4 seconds. If you do this, you cannot be in a state of stress. So if you start to feel anxious, stop yourself and take a 12 second breath. All right, let's try it. Everyone together. Okay, ready? All right, everybody just close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, and release. 3, 4. Just taking a couple of deep breaths like that will help settle that nervous system so that you can get back into that front part of your brain. Another really great trick is to stimulate what's called the vagus nerve. Our vagus nerve is our longest nerve in our cranial nerve, longest nerve in our body that goes all the way from our head to our abdomen, okay? And it sends all that sensory stuff back to the brain, right? And how to stimulate it is basically like massaging. It also controls our throat, okay? So at our throat muscles. And so the way to stimulate it is to make a low vibration sound in your throat and visualize that going all the way down to your abdomen, okay? So when you get into a state of stress, you find yourself in a seated position and we do what's called a voom. And so vooming is just like it sounds, is voom. You're doing a low and long drawn out sound just like this. And I'm gonna do it, it's okay. Again, if you guys want to try that, visualize closing your eyes, hearing the sound, feeling the sound from your throat, going all the way down to your abdomen, and then coming back up to your throat. Super great. When people are really stressed out and coming to me for Aqua Stretch, or they're having a lot of pain, I will ask them to voom even during our session. So this helps them to relax and not really think about their discomfort as much. This really helps them settle into their bodies. All right, the next thing is, of course, there's Tibetan singing bowls. I don't know if you're familiar with those. I love them. I have a mindset coach I'll talk about in a second. She uses those quite a bit. You can look them up on YouTube. They're very nice to listen to. I also like hang drum as some nice music to listen to kind of decrease my stress. Meditation. There's meditation you can do on your own. There's meditation you can do guided. I started, when I first started, to just not have a thought felt really, really good. To get out of my head was great. So I challenge myself to be able to not think for 15 whole minutes. So I'd set up a fan and I would turn it up and just try to visualize my breath going in and out and listening to the fan 15 minutes. And then if you like a guided meditation, there's a whole bunch on YouTube. I like the 6-phase guided meditation by Vishen Lakhiani, which is a guide that takes you through a series of steps of meditation to where you are now and where you want to go. And so it's kind of nice to create that creativity within in your meditation. I read a great book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And if you're interested in the neuroscience behind meditation and why it works and how it works, I would suggest that book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It was awesome. Of course, there's I am information. So the more we set into our brains about who we are, we never want to associate ourselves with I am negatively. We always want to associate ourselves positively, no matter what. So if you catch yourself, I am so bad or I am so dumb, stop it. Right? I am currently working through my situation. The mindset coach is Deb Erickson. I just love her. She's a neuro coach. She's specifically for, she works with direct sales, women specifically, but there are some men that come. She really talks about catching your thoughts and kind of shifting your focus and then recognizing them. She uses little things like stop signs. So when you find yourself in a negative thought pattern, literally throwing up a stop sign in front of your face, stop it, stop it. Or potentially just leave it, because maybe it's something important that you have to get back to, but it's not something that you need to do right now, and the stress might overwhelm you. So you just leave it and shift your focus to what you're doing now. So she's got great neuro tools. These are things that I listen to. I listen to them at night when I go to bed. I listen to them in the morning to set my day. And then I listen to them to the afternoon when I just need a little pick me up or if I'm starting to feel stressed. So I just really, really enjoy her. She's actually giving a deal right now. If you guys are interested, she's giving over half off her membership for, I think it's like $34. And for the last year, I've been paying $62, which was already a good deal. So if you guys are interested in learning more from her, and she also has a free app on her website, it's icaninstitute.com. You can go there, you can download the app for free, and she has a couple of neural tools on there that you can use anytime. One of them is Rise and Thrive, which I really, really love. And of course, I can't leave this situation without telling you about the neurotropic brain energy drink, and a couple of things to just help to detox your brain. Really great stuff to really energize, get yourself focused, get yourself clear. Talk to the person that invited you to this meeting tonight. They will know about it. Again, fish oils and probiotics, also very important. Fish oils for our nerves, which we're all comprised of nerves, and the probiotic, if that vagus nerve goes all the way from our head to our abdomen, we want to make sure our abdomen is actually very healthy too, so it's not sending wrong signals to the brain. So calming the body, where are we at? Here we go, calming the body. When I was at my highest level of stress, my hand actually froze. It's funny how everything kind of tops on top of each other, right? And so here I was eating 5 foods, single mom, divorced, could hardly eat, barely could sleep. And now I had no physical capacity to work. For 9 months, I could open and close my hand. It was like stuck in this position, just like this. I could get it closed, but then I'd have to pry it open. It was super painful. So all of a sudden it got very important that I was taking care of my body, but I couldn't exercise, right? I mean, I was getting massaged and that would only help me a little bit, but I knew my blood needed to get moving and I just couldn't. And so maybe you're like me and just couldn't get yourself to get out of it to do an exercise, right? That was just me. I was stuck. So my counselor told me the Psoas muscle actually holds a lot of emotional trauma, or holds emotions there, because it's the biggest muscle and it's the only muscle that attaches our upper body to our lower body. And it's huge. It's the one that attaches our upper body to the lower body. Like it says one of the strongest muscles in our body. So it's important that it stays loose, but at the same time, knowing how to release it is important. You can get a release through the Psoas muscle with Aqua Stretch, but another way you could do it is doing a wall sit. So, for me, I had been exposed to many wall sits in my life because I was a basketball player. So when she said, go sit on the wall for as long as you can until you fatigue, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't really want to do that. It took me about 7 minutes to get through it all. I didn't think it was actually going to do anything. My legs started shaking. I gave out. The next morning, I threw up. So if there was something stored in there, it came out the next morning. That's for sure. Another simple, easy exercises is look up on YouTube. It's called 8 brocades of Qigong practice. And it's just a simple way of moving energy throughout your body. It's shaking off energy, it's adding energy, it's releasing energy. It's just easy guided movements. They're not hard. Walking, you can walk. If you walk out in the sun, of course, you're going to get some vitamin D, which is good. If you walk, you also create what's called a ground reaction force. So you're getting more force reaction into your bones, which actually improves the strength of your bones to help prevent things like osteoporosis and sarcopenia and things like that, right? So once you've started the exercise program, generally your body wants to keep going, right? So what does a well-rounded approach look like? It's 20 minutes of exercise. It's 20 to 30 minutes of exercise, right? Pick something, anything. You don't have to do all of these in one bout, but 4 components that make a great exercise program is cardio, strength, flexibility, and some kind of neuromotor, we call that in physical therapy, or balance. So, well, angels, I was just going to say, if you want to calculate your max heart rate and how to exercise, they say to exercise between 60 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. How to calculate that for you is to take 220 minus your age and then multiply that by 0.6 or 0.8, however you want to start exercising. Okay, you may want to start out at 0.6 and then see if you can get up to 0.8. And I know those iWatches are kind of cool because they can kind of keep track of that stuff. So anyways, that's a simple way. If you guys want to know that formula, I can give it to you later as well. Another thing, I don't know if you've heard of Nrf2 activation. This is a brand new nutrigenomic product that's out. It's absolutely fabulous. There's research on it. Nrf2, this is I don't know if you guys are familiar with pubmed.gov, but there is a government website where all the research that is published is there. And I'm just going to draw your attention to this article here that I found. And this is talking about fibrosis. And so what it's saying basically down, oh, you guys are covering up my thing. What it's saying here is that basically with the activation of Nrf2, it's going to help people with fibrosis. Okay, it's going to help decrease the tension or the tightness in the body. So when people are coming to me for Aqua Stretch, I literally can tell by the way their body is releasing, by the way, I can tell by if they're releasing. They release different if they're on Nrf2 activation is what I want to say. So they release a lot quicker, easier, and their results stay for a lot longer of a time. So that is what Nrf2 helps me to do my job with Aqua Stretch. So, and of course, body work. So if you're not coming to get an Aqua Stretch, it's not available to you. There's massage, Tai Chi, which is kind of like the 8 brocades is what I was talking about. It's a version of Tai Chi. There's I Chi in the water. Of course, there's Aqua Stretch. My job as a PT is to get people always into the best alignment. And Aqua Stretch, as I mentioned, combines 2 different techniques, which is stretch resistance and intuition. And this guy knew what was going on when it comes to intuition. Even Einstein says, you guys can read those. Intuition is important. So what is our intuition, right? It's something that we obviously understand immediately without even having any reason for it. Like, oh, that makes sense. I get that, right? And the more the quiet the person is, the quieter a person is, the more the intuition becomes more clear. Like when Deb Erickson talks to us, she says, you know, get quiet. And then when you have a thought, act on it immediately. That's inspiration. Another book I read when I was going through my trauma was this book called The Gift of Fear by Dr. Gavin Becker. It basically talks about how to learn how to trust and act on your instincts when you're in dangerous situations. So he was giving examples that even though we may be in a heightened sense of state of fear, that intuition is there and available for us. So there was an example where this lady was stuck and she had been kidnapped and was in a room, and I'd probably have to go back and read all the details, but there was a situation where she had remembered to unlock a window, or, you know, remember to not shut the shade or something like that. So when she was kidnapped and she did all of these things, kind of thinking, well, that's kind of odd. Why would I have done that today? But then when this happened to her later on the evening, like she was ready for it and she was able to escape. So it's just kind of interesting how if we are in tune, we can avoid situations to keep us out of danger and also to connect us more with others. And so that's what I visualize intuition as. It's our inner spirit, and developing that intuition for yourself to tap into your creativity, I think is super important. Learning how to visualize your future and feeling that moment as it already occurred, as in some of the self-guided meditations do as well, help to kind of join you with your spirit. It's that voice within. Sometimes when I work with people, it creates an emotional response, which is, it just happened today. So I released this lady's Psoas Muscle, and she began crying, and crying was actually happy. But this is just another proof that emotions are stored in our body. And the sooner we can release them, the better, so we don't get stuck. Mastering your emotions, developing intuition, calming is very helpful in calming the mind, body, and tapping into the spirit. I'm a firm believer that there's no chances in life, and that God, the spirit that connects us constantly, is guiding us. So it's our responsibility to become in tune with that sweet guidance, to enjoy the journey. So that's what I have for you tonight. I hope you found something of interest that could be helpful for you. I appreciate you all taking the time to hear my story, and have a great night.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Oh my gosh. I was taking notes. I mean, I've got flipping the lid. It's the 4-second breath, boom, bulls. And I have to admit, you guys, I was with Jessica earlier today, and she busted me because I said, I am so dumb. And so when she said that, I'm on a journey, right? And inspired action. I just thank you so much for sharing all of this amazing information and helping us to be better in our body, mind, and spirit. Thank you, everyone. Please join us next Wednesday. We are going to continue Wednesday Wellness and invite back your friends, family, and anyone who needs to hear this information. These videos are posted on YouTube, and they are posted at Eileen Whipple on YouTube. So we are grateful to have you here. If you have any suggestions of topics you want us to address, please let us know, because we care and we want to get you the information. And that's what we are. We are connectors to great information. So thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a good night. Thanks for watching. And remember, one change can have an enormous effect. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell and the like, and we'll see you next time on Love to Live.